is contempt of a temporary or a final restraining order. And that is the sole focus of this particular CLE. There are other types of contempts. There can be contempts of a court order, and those are contained under separate statutes. But today's focus is really on the contempt of a temporary or a final restraining order. And contempt is set forth or codified in our criminal code, which is the 2C, under section 29-9B. And there's 9B1 and 9B2. And 9B1 essentially says that a person is guilty of a crime of the 4th degree if they purposely or knowingly violate any provision in an order entered under the provisions of the Prevention of Domestic Violence Act, which is a TRO or an FRO, or an order entered under the provisions of a substantially similar statute under the laws of another state or the United States when the conduct which constitutes the violation could also constitute a crime or a disorderly person's offense. So I'll explain this in terms of the grading in a minute. Our next slide discusses that. And then 9B2 says in all other cases, a person is guilty of a disorderly person's offense if that person purposely or knowingly violates any provision in an order entered under the provisions of the Prevention of Domestic Violence Act, again, a TRO or an FRO, or an order entered under the provisions of a substantially similar statute under the laws of another state or the United States. Now, what's important to note is that the latter part of these two subsections refer to orders from other states. Restraining orders that are entered in other states are recognized in the state of New Jersey. So it is possible for you to be present in the state of New Jersey and violate a restraining order or a protective order that was entered in another state. So keep in mind that even though the underlying restraining order may not have been issued here in the state of New Jersey, you can still be charged with contempt in New Jersey.
Another thing to be mindful of is that both provisions highlighted on this slide refer to the purposely or knowingly element of a violation of an order, meaning that I'm sure you have many clients come in, and many of my clients likewise, they ask, what happens if I walk into a restaurant and they're sitting there? Or what happens if I go into the store and they're at the store? Am I going to be arrested? So the purposefully and knowingly element is something that obviously at the time of a hearing has to be adjudicated, but it is a critical element of the statute in terms of advising your clients as to what their conduct is going to be prospectively once there's a TRO or FRO in effect, and once you are assigned this pro bono assignment, the burden that the state has to prove.